Hi. So it's the last day of Pride Month, and through the last 30 days, I have been continuously inspired by other members of the LGBTQ plus community, listening to their stories, their coming out experiences, and being inspired by them. And I feel it's finally time for me to come and talk about my story and my coming out experience, what it was like growing up as a gay man. I've never been secretive about my experiences, but I usually trust who I'm talking to or know who I'm sharing my experiences with, and I get to pick and choose what I talk about. So this is very difficult for me, but I recognize the power of a story. And if sharing my experiences can do for someone else what so many other friends and other members of the community have done for me, then I'm happy and it was all worth it. Now, I want to preface by saying I hold no grudge for the most part, and I wish no ill will on people that hurt me or people that affected me. I'm very happy with the life that I've created for myself. I feel very successful. I love what I do. I love where I am in my life. I'm comfortable. I'm good. I'm proud. But I wasn't always this way, of course. Middle school was a very tough time for me. It was 3 years of torture where I lived in a constant state of fear. And a lot of the things that happened to me had lasting effects. Now, I wish I could attest every bad quality of mine to these experiences. I can't, but there are definitely a few that I can. And I still have nightmares about these things. I still have anxiety, and I still constantly fear being judged. A lot of things just never went away. So, what happened? I was bullied. Simply put, I was just very badly bullied. In middle school, of course, everyone had a bad middle school experience. Middle school was not fun for anyone. But man, it was not easy. I came out in middle school. I started to realize who I was in 7th grade. I realized that I was different, but I fully did not come to terms with my sexuality until 8th grade. I made the mistake of telling a few close friends, and then everyone in the school knew very shortly after that. It did not stay within that group of friends. Now, I was already getting bullied. Everyone already called me gay. They knew before I did. So it just didn't make things better. It didn't make things easier by any means. It just gave them more content to make fun of me for. Just affirmed what everyone else already was thinking. So I would like to share some of the things that happened to me and share some of my experiences of what I went through in middle school and little pieces of high school. For the most part, high school was fine. I started to build a backbone. I started to deal with it. I started to make some friends and feel good and feel comfortable. Every single year of high school got better. And then I went to a completely different high school in my junior year, and things were perfect. So I want to share my middle school experiences and how they've changed me and how it affects me. These are memories that I don't like digging up. These are memories that are very painful for me. So I'm going to be very scatterbrained. So deal with me, deal with the cuts, because this is not easy. These are things I don't say out loud. These are things that I don't like talking about. This isn't fun. But this is my experience. I'm uncomfortable saying it, and it's going to be uncomfortable listening to it. So I'm sorry. Lunch was always hard. It was just like you see in the movies of kids getting their lunch tray knocked out of their hand. That frequently happened to me. Kids threw food at me. Those little juice pouches, people would poke holes in them and then just squirt them down on me. People would cut me in the lines. If I decided to speak up and say something, I would just get harassed. I would get hit. I would get pushed or shoved or whatever. So lunch was never fun. It was never a good time. I always, of course, sat alone. No one wanted me to sit with them, or they'd get up and leave. And some days, everything else was hard. So I just skipped lunch so many days in middle school. I just didn't eat. I would go hide in a bathroom or go hide in the library or something and just chill and just escape from all the chaos of lunch. The school bus was torture, of course, was an awful start and end of every single day. There were 2 buses that took kids from my school to my neighborhood in that area. That's how many of us were clumped up in a very small neighborhood. And I often didn't sit in a seat. I bounced between so many seats, and I don't mean that as I got up and changed seats. Kids would shove me off of the seats, shove me into the aisle, and I would get up and try to sit with someone else, and they wouldn't want to sit with me, so they would push me out. If I did find a seat, a lot of the kids liked to take the seatbelts that hung over the back of the seat and wrap them around my neck and choke me. I still don't like anything touching my neck or people touching my neck because I got choked a lot. No bus driver ever said anything. It was just one of those things that was normal to get choked at 7 o'clock in the morning and choked on the way home, or pushed or shoved. Yeah, if teachers rode the bus, sometimes I'd sit with them. That was always nice, but they would never say anything. I never said anything. Just normal. My house got spray painted, not just once, usually very derogatory things. For some reason, some kids liked calling me the gay doctor's son. My dad's not a doctor and he's not gay, but that was one of the terms people liked calling me, and that got spray painted. They even misspelled son, they spelled it S-U-N, so, I'm bright. But that was a regular occurrence as well. I have a special needs brother, and he loved going to the park in the neighborhood. I hated going to the park because other kids were there, and other kids meant trouble for me. But I'm not going to disappoint my brother. My brother wants to go to the park. I'd go to the park. And I'd go to the park, and he would be having the time of his life, playing pretend on whatever he's doing. And I would often be getting beat up or tortured or just harassed by the other kids. And, the "don't worry, brother's name, we're just playing" was like a common thing I was saying. He would have a great time. I would finally leave whatever was happening, and we would leave together. I got into several fights. There was this one time I was next to the swings, one of the baby swings, and I took that and I smacked a kid with it. Apparently the kid knew jujitsu, beat the crap out of me for it, but I got a hit in. This one time at the park, this girl befriended me. And of course, I was like a friend, someone that came to me, protected me, wanted to talk to me. I was all about it. So she wanted to go back to her house, and we did. I went back to her house to hang out, but it was all an elaborate prank. Not too long after we went into her house, a bunch of dudes broke into the house, and they all had knives. And I tried fighting back, got a good cut on one of them, but I got beat and assaulted with knives and cut. So yeah, that happened. There was this kid named Mihai that rode the bus. I don't know if that was his name or just what people called him. But one day we got off of the bus, and him and his group of friends were like, "Kyle, you're coming to our house." I didn't want to go there, of course not. But you don't say no to a group of guys that are telling you what to do. So I went to Mihai's house, and we went into his room, and they pushed me on the floor, and they all took turns beating me. I'm sorry, I'm looking away and I'm getting deflected because I don't want to talk about these things. But they all took turns hitting me and beating me. Didn't last very long. I eventually got to leave and run away and run back to my house. But Mihai one of the worst of them. Also, signs were put on my back constantly. It was just sticky notes put onto my backpack. Touch me, I'm gay. I don't even know so many other things. It was just always, I'm gay. Something about it. So people were always laughing at me, walking up and down the halls, and I didn't change much anyways. I had this teacher for gym, my first period. His name was Coach Rugo. I believe he still works. I think he works with Eastlake now over at the middle school. God, it was first period, so we had the morning announcements then, and of course kids are going to do things when they have free power to do anything and they don't have class in session. And they would throw things at me, they would scream things at me. It was just general chaos in the mornings while the kids were coming in. Coach Rugo's solution to that was to remove me from the classroom, and therefore they can't bully me. So I had to wait outside of the gym while the other kids got to watch the morning news. And then I could go inside afterwards and go into the locker rooms and change, which, of course, the locker rooms weren't anything easy. Got hate so much. I get bullied so much inside of the locker rooms. So, of course, I would move over and I tried getting changed in the stalls or the showers. I had to mix it up so they wouldn't know where I was. But the complaints started rolling in. The coach would come in and hear them all screaming at me or throwing things at me. So then I wasn't allowed to get changed with the other guys, and I had to wait outside while they got changed too. So for 15 minutes of the class, I just didn't go in. I waited until they got changed, and then I got to go in, change by myself. And the group activities I never participated in because it was usually just who can knock down Kyle, who can ignore Kyle. So I stopped playing. I just went off and sat by myself or played basketball by myself. That was my favorite. He never asked. I don't think Coach Rugo talked to me the last 3 months of the school year. He just ignored me, let me do my thing. We knew the system. We had a system. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't come in contact with anyone. No one came in contact with me. We were good. We were set. That was how that gym semester was spent. It was a great morning to my days. My locker in 7th grade, unfortunately near a trash can. So I often frequented that trash can, just constantly just shoved middle of periods just in my locker and just shoved, picked up and put it in there, whatever. It was just a normal part of my day. This one day after school, I biked over to Anclote Park, and there was this pier, and I was sitting at the end of it, just looking out at the water, and these group of people were at the other end of the pier, at the beginning of the pier, and they started shooting fireworks at me, and I had nowhere to go unless I wanted to hop in the water. So I remember just laying down flat and covering my face and just waiting for it to end. So it was just constant banging of the fireworks right there in my face, and just praying that I got to walk away from that at some point. And I did. I did shortly after with a couple of burns, but nothing too bad. Nothing that I thought was going to happen. My house often got ding-dong ditched. It just feels weird saying that as an adult. But usually I would go out to answer the door, and the guys would be holding something, sticks, bats. One time my neighbors even found them with the sticks, and they came over and they were like, hey, these guys keep coming and ringing your doorbell holding a bunch of sticks. And my parents went out, and my dad even got in his truck and chased him down. Which didn't make anything any better, of course, because, your parents are fighting your battles for you. I had the science teacher, gosh, I can't remember his name, but he would purposely try to pair me with people that clearly bullied me and everyone knew bullied me. And I would refuse. I started to really get sick of it. So I'm like, no, I refuse to work with him. I don't feel safe working with him. And the first day, he pulled me aside and was like, he really thought he was helping me. He was like, Kyle, just stop being weird and people won't harass you. He seriously was always like, just talk to them, Kyle. We're going to try it today, all right? Do this, do that. And he would give me tips on how to be friends with the people who were just so openly mean to me in the class. Not doing anything else, not reporting it, not talking to the guys, but just stop being weird and everything will be fine. When I went into high school, there was this kid named Freddie Joffrey. Regularly called me a faggot. Loved debating with me. I had him in journalism of all classes. But we had another class together, global studies or something, and it was chaos, that class in general, and he would just openly bully me in that class. And I remember one day, I guess I pissed him off because he went on a tangent of just screaming at me. The teacher's name was Mr. Robles, and he asked Mr. Robles if I looked like a faggot to him, and he just laughed. Didn't do anything else but laugh. Ignored it. Get back to work, kids. Freddie eventually stormed out of that class and threatened to fight me, and we had a time and a place to fight. Of course I didn't go, but word spread out that I didn't go, and then I was getting made fun of for not going. I'm not gonna fight some stupid fat kid. But we both got a referral and we both got a day of in-school suspension, so that was fun. He even messaged me a year ago or so, trying to apologize for everything that he did. I never replied. It's not the first time someone's tried messaging me and apologizing or coming forward about not being there for me. I can't reply to any of them. I've never been able to. I've never been strong enough. Like, I forgive you. It's in the past. We were kids. But like, my first kiss with a guy, he touched my neck, as you do, and I slapped him. I threw him off of me. Totally wasn't prepared, never done anything like that before. But of course, it was an instinct. I hated my neck being touched because anytime it got touched, it was negative. I just really wanted to talk about these things and make light and let people know bullying is real. It's one of the biggest things that's bothered me when people say that they just don't see bullying. So it doesn't exist. It does. It's very real. It very much exists. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening to someone. Or maybe you did see it and you're just turning the other way. You're pretending that you never saw it. You're blocking it out of your memory. But for some of us, we can't, we couldn't, and we didn't get away from it because it's very much real. But you know what? I'm glad it was me. Because if it wasn't me, it just would have been someone else. And I was durable enough for it. I took it. I know people that weren't durable enough for it, and people that didn't make it out of high school. And I almost didn't several times. I've tried to end my life more than once. And I am so fortunate that I've never been successful in any of those attempts. I'm so glad to be where I am today. I'm glad I made it out. I believe I was made to make it out. But I took it. It's fine. It's behind me, right? I don't know what I'm saying. I went on to lead the Gay Straight Alliance in my 11th and 12th grade year. I've inspired other people to come out of the closet. I've helped people come to terms with their sexuality. And actually, back in middle school, my group of friends, we formed a GSA, because you're legally allowed to if there's any other clubs that aren't academic related. But we formed a GSA, and we did things for each other, and it was really just our friend group where we got to protect and love each other, which was great. And we got to started having lunch in the library where we didn't have to deal with the chaos of the cafeteria and deal with those bullies. And we started to create a safe space, and that was just the journey through where I continued to do it for other people through my whole high school career. And I'm so thankful for the lives I've been able to touch and the reach that I've had. And I've shared my story with my friends in the GSA, and they have shared theirs, and we have all come together over our experiences. So it happened, but I didn't let it destroy me. And that's so important. So I get so angry when people ask, what do you have to be proud of? What is gay pride? Cool, you're gay, and what? And I'm like, the weight that so many members of the LGBTQ plus community carry, we're allowed to be proud of that. We're allowed to be proud that we've made it out, or that we're happy with who we are, when so many of us spent our entire lives being told that we can't be proud of these things, that we were put down for these things, and now we're wanting to celebrate it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I spent so many years being told to kill myself, and I listened to them. I tried. I've mutilated my body. I have scars forever from my experiences, some that I have inflicted myself and others that were given to me, and I wear them frickin' proudly. I'm allowed to be proud that I made it out, because so many other people haven't. They never got the chance to be proud of themselves. They've never gotten the chance to be happy with their sexuality and celebrate it. How many people that are in the closet right now that would love to march down a parade celebrating their sexuality and being around other people that are like them. That's why we have pride. That's why I have pride, because I'm here and I'm smiling and I'm happy and I'm living a great and successful life as a gay man. I'm allowed to do that. I'm freaking proud, man. This was my story. This is the story of how my middle school failed me and how my community failed me. Tarpon Springs Middle School, Tarpon Springs High School, you failed me. The teachers, a lot of you failed me. And again, I have no ill will against any of you. I hold no grudge. But I can still acknowledge that you failed, and that you could have done a lot better, and you could have made one gay boy's life a lot easier if you just stopped looking the other way. I hope that these occurrences are happening less and less around the world. I believe that they are. I believe things are getting better, and they always do get better. Oh, they weren't lying when they constantly told me as a kid it gets better, because it did. It really did. And no matter how hard your story is, it does get better. I'm kind of babbling here and I don't know what direction I'm going, but that's it. That's the moral of the story, is that you can still be something no matter what your past is. Now, to those that helped me, those that befriended me, the few who stood up for me, I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because so many of you people, even if we still don't talk to this day, a lot of you started to make me feel like I was valuable. You guys started giving me a reason to want to live to see another day. And that's something, there are no words to try and explain to thank you. And that's just it. Just thank you for seeing someone that needed help and offering your hand and not judging me for who I was. And so many of my friends are a part of this community as well. And I hope that I was able to do the same thing for what you did for me. Now, I'm sorry for not speaking sooner. I'm sorry for all the people that I hardened on in high school and I was mean to, my friends, my close friends, because I stopped letting myself get pushed around. I became this mean person that refused to let people in. I'm sorry to guys I've tried to date, because I just beg to be loved, because I don't know how that happens or that works, because I've never had it. I'm sorry to other men, to straight men that are my friends, because I have a hard time trusting you. There was this time I met someone and he went for a hug and I didn't know what to do because so many guys are just handshakes or whatever. And of course I'm down for a hug, but I felt like it was a trap. I literally stepped away from him and it was this awkward situation because I'm just immediately assuming that straight men want to hurt me. Again, the lasting effects. So I'm sorry to all the people that I ended up having a negative impact on because of my negative experiences. I'm sorry to my family that I burdened with this, or the fact that you're going to find out some of these things about my life through this video. I'm sorry, I wish I was able to talk about it sooner. And at the end of the day, thank you to everyone who has listened to me and who listened to my story. But at the end of the day, thank you to everyone who has sat here and listened to me and my story. I am also here for all of you. I'm here to listen to your story. I'm here to be inspired by you because so many of you guys inspire me. Thank you guys. I love each and every single one of you. If any of you are going through anything, you can always message me, let me know. And I don't know how to end this video. Just be kind to one another, be good people, and just love. That's all.